Hello everybody, and welcome to Just Paint It. I was going to do a video of cleanup and assembly on this kit, but I think I changed my mind just before I started the video. And the reason why is there's not a whole lot of cleanup to do. And assembly is going to be a little tricky because this kit is going to be part of a class that I'm going to take next week. The class is going to be online for anybody to watch. You're more than welcome to come. It's going to be done by Red Dragon Model Works. That's Gilbert. I mentioned him before, and I'm going to leave a link below for you. Now, Gilbert's been doing this now this is going to be the third class, I believe, and it's real fun. It's for people who want to learn how to paint figures and stuff. He's been doing a lot of flesh tones, but this is going to be a Halloween special, and everybody on the group chose to do this kit, which is a Conquistador, and the kit is available from everybody ordered the kit from the same place, which is NY 3D Creations, which is Mike, and he supplied all the kits for everybody to paint. Now Mike, this is a 3D printed kit. Mike sells 3D printed kits on his site, and the way that Mike printed this doesn't need a whole lot of cleanup, because the way he sent it to me and the way I see he used the supports and everything doesn't leave a whole lot of stuff to clean up, because you could tell where where the supports were. Let me focus on this a little bit. Let's see. Get it to focus. There we go. You see right there. There's not a whole lot to clean up. You see where he puts the supports. So I cleaned this side a little bit, and I did it with a very dull sponge, sanding sponge. I used this one before, and there's not a whole lot to it, and you don't need a whole lot of work to do on it to get it cleaned up, because it comes right off. And the print that Mike does, it's phenomenal. There's like no styrations. I've been checking this whole thing around, and I haven't seen any styrations, like little waves and circles you need to sand all the time. Nothing. Mike's been doing this for a very long time, NY 3D Creations, and every time I get something from him, because he has popular kits available on his site. If you want to buy a kit print, he doesn't sell STLs. He sells printed kits, and he doesn't sell stolen kits or stolen STLs, or he won't print nothing like that. If he has a license for it or the rights to print it, he will print it and sell you the kit, and he'll send it to you. And he's got stuff available. I'm going to leave a link on this down below if you want to go check it out. He has a ton of stuff on his site, and some of them are exclusive just to him. Alright, you'll see some of them that are out there, that are popular or whatever, but you're also going to see a lot of them that are exclusive just to Mike's site. Okay? And he's got some really cool stuff, so check him out. But the way he did this is phenomenal. The way he shipped it too for me, because there's a lot of delicate little pieces here, like this strap, and if you look at the skeleton's arm, how thin it is, the fingers. All right, if you look at that, look how thin those fingers are, and look how cool it came out. And same thing, he puts the supports in a way where he hides them, and there's not a whole lot of cleaning to do, because you can clean that up really quick with a sponge, a little sandpaper, and just get in there and clean it up, and it comes right off, and you won't see none of those support pox or anything like that. You're not going to see any of it. Everything came out just like he sent it to me, just like perfect. Like there's no styrations, nothing. I don't have to like really go crazy and sand this down at all, which is really cool. And the same thing happens with all the kits that I get from him. He has like a way of printing this stuff, and he tests everything before he sends it out to you. you know, or he sends a kit out to you. He's not going to send you a kit that looks like crap. He's going to send you a kit that's pretty much ready, almost ready to go. There's always going to be cleanup, but I never had a kit that didn't need like no cleanup, you know. Now the reason why I'm not putting this together, let me get back to focus down the bottom over here. Apologize. There we go. So the reason why I'm not putting this together is because if you look in here, right, there's some residuals from the cleanup that I was doing before, but that's the spinal bone in the back. All right, that's the spine, and here's the spine. And the reason why that's in there like that, and then you got some bones in here too that probably needs to be painted, is because you can see through them. Okay, so you're probably going to be able to see some of that depending on which way you look at the figure. Same thing with the bottom. Okay, this guy's all bones. Alright, so that's why probably this kit is like that. So I was thinking about putting this stuff together a little bit here on the channel while we, you know, just to show a little bit what maybe stuff that I used to put stuff together and anything like that. But I can't. I'm going to have to paint it in pieces when we do the class, because I want to get in there with the brush or the airbrush as best as I can and try to get some of that inside, because I have a couple ideas. I'm thinking about maybe putting a light in there if I can do it, and having it glow from the inside, which I think would be really cool, displaying it for Halloween, you know, on your, you know, desk or whatever, you know. I think there's something like this would be really cool to, you know, just display it with a little light coming through the bones and all that crap. So I think that would be really cool. But it's a skeleton, so there's a lot of bones, you know. This is very fragile, so it's going to have to get, you know, glued on, you know, with a 2-part epoxy. And this one could probably get pinned, and probably the other one too if you want to. It's got enough meat in it that you could probably pin it. But I think I got a good epoxy where it holds very well, and I'll show you real quick the one that I use. But this was shared by somebody on another site. Sorry. Magic Smooth. It's a hardener and a resin. Alright, and this stuff you don't have to use a whole lot. Like on little spaces like that, you don't have to use a whole lot, and when once it grabs, it won't let go, and it holds very well. And for something like that where it's going to hold the weight, I think this is the best stuff that I know of that I can use. That was a tip that I got from Pestilence Lab. And he had a little video go up. Mark Worthling from Pestilence Lab, he put a little video up on that stuff, and he was telling people, giving the tip on what he uses for his stuff, and so far it's worked great for me. So, you know, I think you guys should give it a try. The company is out of New York. All right, so you know, and you know, you should try it out, because I think it really works really good. And you know, you do your hands and arms and stuff, and that stuff won't fall apart on you. But like I said, I'm gonna have to prime all this stuff in pieces, because you know, you got to get into the bones, and then I think once you put it together, there's certain things that are going to be in the way, because this leg goes in crooked like that. Okay, and then the other one goes in here, and then it's just very, I mean, it's because it's not glued on right now, it's very flimsy. But I tried it like this and it was holding up before. Oh, there goes one leg. But got it back. But anyway, you get the drift. It's very, very, you know, flimsy. As far as if you know, there's nothing to grab in it right now. But once you glue it on, it'll hold on strong. And I don't think I have to put a rod or anything like that. It's not a very big kit. If it was a bigger kit, then I would worry about putting a rod in it and to stabilize it. But I think this should hold with no problem once you glue it on with a good epoxy. You're not going to use this. You're going to have to use a good epoxy to hold everything together. Now the other thing is why the reason I'm not putting it together is Let me focus this again up a little higher. Okay, you see all the detail on the shoulders right there, the studs and the part of the armor and everything. So when you put the arm together, the shoulder piece is going to cover some of it, and I want to make sure that I paint that. When you paint stuff, before you put anything together, you want to make sure that you get everything that you can get, as far as without having to get in there with a real small fine brush and maybe get paint where you don't want to get it. So I think I'm going to leave everything apart, because a lot of the parts that go together, they do cover up other areas like that. Same thing with the other side. Okay, you see this shoulder piece is going to cover part of that. Alright, once you put it together, see, like that. Same thing with all here, and you got a lot of detail that's hanging down near the bottom, and I don't want to get in there with a small brush to try to get all that stuff underneath the armpit and all that. So I want to try to paint everything and then just leave this bare where the joints go in, and you glue it together, and the fit is perfect. Nothing is warped. The sword is nice and straight, you know, and there's a lot of metal and leather and bone. And this guy looks like he came out of the grave, and he's been laying there for a long time. So there's going to be a lot of rust involved with this stuff. So I also want to show you guys a new product, you know, that's been out there for a little bit now, but a lot of people have been using it in the mini world. And I want to show you guys what I'm going to use. But let me show you again a little close up on the stuff here. Let's look at the details on all this stuff. It's really cool. A lot of leather strapping, and there's a lot of stuff that you can do. A lot of cool effects. Right, like the worn out clothing or whatever he has there. You know, really, really cool. This is where the leg comes in across, and then the other one is here. Okay, and then you probably have enough room to pin it. Put a small pin in it, but I don't think it needs it. But I do want to get the insides, just in case, you know, if you can see anything from the bottom. I want to make sure that at least that's somewhat painted in there. You could paint it dark, but at least paint the bone a little bit, you know, noticeable, so you can see it. If you see it looking at it from the inside, at least you can tell what it is. All right, and then the base. Okay, I think he custom made the base for us too. You put a tombstone in it. And this nice little Halloween piece. I think this is cool. I think we could do a little effect on it too with the lights. I think that would be really nice. I'm gonna have to think it out a little bit to see how I'm gonna do it, so I can hide the wires or anything like that. I do have like a little light that it's battery operated, but I gotta see how, if I'm gonna do it, how am I gonna do it? I don't want to be cutting anywhere or anything like that. You know, I want to make it simple enough that I can just turn it on and off when I want to. But it's really cool. The head has a little peg, little pin there. You can just put it in, lines up perfect, and the head sits kind of like crooked like that. And the head looks really cool. The helmet is all beat up and rust. It's gonna be all rusty and stuff and beat up. All right, so let me show you what I'm going to use for the rust and other things that I'm going to add to it. Let me focus that a little bit. All right. I had the one for a while. There we go. And I tried it on one of my kits. The other one. And it worked out pretty good. And this is it's made by a company, Dirty Down. I believe they're out in England. Yep, they're out in the UK. And Artist Opus, people who make these really cool brushes, they're selling these now. And actually their prices are really, really good. So you should check Artist Opus out. These guys right here, they make these awesome, you know, they do jar brushes and also regular brushes. But they are selling these right now. They're stocking them, and their prices are the best ones I've seen online so far. So if you want to try this, you get the verdigris, okay, where you could put patina on, like, you know, metal stuff like copper and things like those, like things like that, bronze. They got the moss, and they got videos for this stuff all over the place. So if you want to go check out how this stuff gets applied and gets done, the kit that you're putting it on has to be warm, so you can run a hair dryer on it before you put it on, because I guess it has a better reaction when the material is warm. But this stuff works really good. And then you have the moss, the verdigris, and the rust. Alright? And you apply it, and it gives you some rust effect. But I'm going to do some rust effect on top of it to give it some texture. And then I'll do this probably on top of that. That's what I want to try. I want to see what kind of effect I'm going to get out of it. It might be good, it might be bad, who knows. But, you know, I want to try these things out. You know, I think this is the perfect kit for it, because I think I use every single one of those to try to get some kind of effect for the ground effect for the moss, and some of the patina, and then a lot of the rust. You know, but I do have to, I think, apply some rust effect before, like give it some texture by stippling. So I think that's the way I'm gonna go with it. And then, you know, I have a technique for the leather straps, but they're going to be more worn than anything. So I think I'm going to use a different technique for that. I don't know. I was going to think about that. So I'm just planning out. I was going to try to put some stuff together and show you guys. But this is going to be like these little classes that Gilbert is doing. If you guys should check out his site again, you know, Red Dragon Model Works. He's doing, you know, like these things, they take about 2 weeks to do. Like you'll have a class, you know, in 2 or 3 weeks. You'll start off, you know, with the basics, and then, you know, he'll work on until the whole model is complete. So, you know, it's a couple hours, like on a Saturday. If you guys have, you know, available, or you can always watch the videos that he has up on his site to see how we did the first class and then the second class. The kits that we use are available at NYC 3D Creations. But sometimes they're not going to be up on this site. Sometimes it's just going to be available through Mike. If you message him, if you want to be part of the class, everybody is welcome. You know, Gilbert is always very welcome about that. Or you can follow us online, or you can join the chat and join us in there. You can do whatever you want. But if you want to follow us along with the kit itself, you can contact Mike. I don't know if you have time to pick this one up. You're going to have to hit him up, because it's a week away, and I don't know, depending where you live, if he's going to be able to get it to you on time, if you want to be part of it. If not, you can wait for the next one. Looks like we're going to do these all the way through next year, because we've been talking about other stuff to do, and it seems this is becoming very popular. Now, the guys that started doing this, they never did figure painting. They're all modelers, but they never did figures. They did boats, cars. This guy that does riggings for boats, very good. They're all very good in their trade and what they do in as far as the hobby world goes. But a lot of them never did figures, and you know, they all wanted to learn how to do stuff. So they all came up with the idea of doing this on Saturdays, and now it's becoming pretty popular, and everybody's having a blast doing it. And I think you guys should check him out. Red Dragon Model Works. And again, if you want to get a kit, look up NY 3D Creations. He has this one on his site available if you guys want to jump in on it, and just find out to see if you can get it on time if you want to be part of it this next weekend on the 10th, or if not, you know, you could join in, and just, you know, Gilbert always updates his site there and lets people know. Just so subscribe to his channel so you can get the updated when he's going to do the next one. And that's it. You know, he does a really good job, you know, and stuff like that. He does a lot of different techniques. I learn stuff from him, you know, all the time, because he's been doing this for a long time, and he's very good at what he does. And plus the other guys, they probably bring in something from their trade and can add it into their into the mix, you know, and stuff like that. And we can all always try something new. There's nothing wrong with that. So this kit has got a ton of details. I can tell you that right now. If you want to take a look at it again, let me focus on it. Just on this part alone, just look at all the stuff that's going on over here. There's a lot of metal work. a lot of leather work, and you know you're gonna have to do a lot of rust work on that. All right, because he's been buried for a long time. All right, so look at that. That's really cool. All right, so I think this is going to be a fun little project to do. This is the Halloween special that we're doing. All right, we're thinking about doing something for Christmas, but we haven't thought about what kit to do yet. That's going to be coming up soon. All right, because we want to try and make sure that they're done by the time that, you know, like Christmas and Halloween and whatever, you know. But we're going to be doing other stuff, you know. I think the skin tones is like the most biggest thing for everybody to try to do, because and try to do different techniques, because everybody has a hard time with skin tones always, you know. So but if you look at the first video towards the next video after that, the next kit that we did, you're gonna see the big difference that everybody like picked up from the first to the second, and you could tell that the kits are getting, the paint jobs are getting better, the techniques are getting better, they're picking up on it a lot quicker. And you know, the first time it was like a lot of waiting because people were trying to catch up or whatever and things like that, but the next time you can see people doing things a little bit faster. So we want to try to keep on doing those things. But this one, you know, this is Halloween theme, and this is the one that everybody picks, so we're going to do this one, and we'll move on from there. Alright, so it's just a short video. Just wanted to share that with you guys. Hopefully, you know, you guys will tune in next week and check out to see, and it's a good place to learn. You know, that's what my channel is about. It's about learning. You know, I'm a noob. You know, I haven't been doing this for too long, and I wanted to share that with you guys, to give you another place for you guys to get some resources and learn something. And I think Gilbert does a great job doing the class and everything, and Mike has been really, from NY3D Creations, been really helpful with us getting the stuff together, you know, the kids and stuff. Now Gilbert's not charging any money for this class. All he's asking is for a little donation if you're going to be part of it. And, you know, it's a cup of coffee or whatever. You know, he's got a link for that stuff or whatever. And if you know, it's not going to, you know, if you're going to learn something from it, it won't hurt you to donate a little bit. You know, helps him buy some paint and whatever. But he's doing this for free, guys. He's not charging anybody anything. All right, so if you guys want to be part of it, please, you know, be part of it. But, you know, throw him a bone. You know what I'm saying? He's a good guy, great guy, and he'll help anybody out. If you ever have any questions like that, you want to shoot a question right there while we're there live, he'd be more than happy to answer it. So he's a really good guy. So, you know, tune into it. I'll leave the links down, you know, and everything like that. And, you know, check these guys out. Check Gilbert's channel, and check out Mike's NY3D Creations, his printed stuff. You know, I get a lot of stuff. I print stuff too, but I still get stuff from Mike all the time. All right, because he has exclusives, and he has, and the way he does the printing, you know, I can't print this way. I'm still trying to learn how to print this way, and I can't figure it out. Mike is not going to share his secrets. Trust me, you know, that's his business. So, and I don't blame him for it. All right, but beautifully printed, hardly any cleanup on this thing, and you know, I was really happy. And I got other kits that I got from him that I'm going to share later on. You know, we do a paint up here on my channel, so stay tuned for that. All right, that'll come down in the future. So that's it, guys. I hope you enjoy, and I hope to see you next week. You know, hopefully you'll tune in, and you know, you guys can see us live there. If not, you can always go into his channel, to Gilbert's channel, and check out all the stuff that we did before. Oh, and Gilbert has a ton of stuff on his channel, a ton of how-tos. So I really, you know, suggest you guys check him out. All right, thank you. Have fun. I hope to see you next week. Take care.